hour of e-learning, part of what you need to complete is this video, which has the answer key to your sample test for the test we will be taking tomorrow. So what I'll be doing is going through the problems and explaining how they're solved and why they're solved the way they are. You need to be either checking your work if you were able to complete it to make sure that you're correct, or you need to be filling in the correct answers, including the work. So when I check your sample test tomorrow to make sure that you completed the video, I'll be looking for all of the work that I've also shown on this paper. So number 1 and 2 ask you to complete the table. So you're basically filling in all the blanks. So instead of me giving you the x value and you filling in the rest of the table, I filled in some different pieces here and there. So for problem number 1, when we plug in a 1, we're going to write how we usually do, y equals -2 times 1 plus 4. We need to solve that. -2 times 1 is -2, plus 4 is +2. And then we write our ordered pair as 1, 2. Remember, all ordered pairs are written in parentheses, so make sure you're not forgetting to do that. For the second row, we show what's been plugged in for x, and that's a -2. That means we need to plug a -2 in here. Now we still need to solve. -2 times -2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So we get the ordered pair -2, 8. And in the last row, it looks like the ordered pair is 0, 4, which means we've plugged in a 0 for x, or picked a 0 for x. So then we need to show -2 times 0 plus 4. Anything times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. And we do in fact get the ordered pair 0, 4. So now that you see how to do that one, I'd like you to try the second one and then check your answers. Please pause the video here and then check your work. Here are the answers to the table for number 2. Make sure that you understand what x over 4 means. You know that's division. So when you're solving these problems, you're doing 8 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4, and 0 divided by 4 before you add the 3. In the next example, you're asked to graph the equation by plotting at least 3 ordered pairs, and my hint is that you are to make a table of values. So this is your chance to pick some x values. Pick easy ones, 0, 1, and 2. So what happens when you plug a 0 in? 3 times 0 is 0, minus 2, -2. 3 times 1, when I plug the 1 in for x, is 3, minus 2 is 1. And when I plug in a 2, 3 times 2 is 6, minus 2 is 4. Now I need to plot the ordered pairs, 0, -2, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Remember, these are supposed to make a line. If the ordered pairs you picked don't make a line, then you've got an error somewhere. Now remember, you may not have picked the same x values that I did, but your line should look exactly like mine. So let's go down to x and y intercepts. Remember, when you're finding the x and y intercepts, you're taking one of the variables and replacing it with a 0. So if we're finding the x-intercept, we're going to do 4x minus 5 times 0 and set it equal to 20, or copying the equation, plugging the 0 in. This term goes away, so I get 4x equals 20. Divide both sides by 4, and we get that x equals 5. So our x-intercept is at +5. You have to do the same thing for the y-intercept, except now you're going to plug the 0 in for the x. So we have 4 times 0 minus 5y equals 20. Again, this term goes away. The biggest thing you have to pay attention to here is the subtraction sign in front of the 5. You have to bring that with you, so we'll be dividing by a -5, and we get that y equals -4. So -4 on the y-axis, that's your y-intercept. We draw a line between the 2 dots, and there's our line. Again, pause the video here, try the same thing with number 5 if you have not done so yet, and then you can check your answers with what I get. There's the answer to number 5. You should have -4 for your x-intercept, -1 for your y-intercept, and then you can see the line graphed. 6, 7, 8, and 9 ask you to find the slope of the line. Remember the formula for finding the slope of the line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to label our ordered pairs x1, y1, x2, y2. So for number 6, we're doing 4 minus 6 over 2 minus 3. That's -2 over -1, which is a +2. So our slope on number 6 is +2. You can write it as 2 over 1, but you do need to make sure that it's positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. I want you to do 7 on your own using the formula in the same process I just did on number 6, and then check your answer. The answer for number 7 is a -1/2, so check my work. Make sure that you have the same answer. If you don't have the same answer, you can see where you went wrong by comparing my work and your work. On 8 and 9, when you're asked to find the slope here, remember we just count, rise over run. So we start here at this bottom ordered pair. I need to count how high up and how far over I go to get to the next ordered pair. So I'm going up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 2 over 5, and it is positive because the line is running in the positive direction. Same thing with number 9. You count the up and the down first, the rise, whether you're going up from the point on the right to the point on the left, or down the point on the left to the point on the right. Now I'm going to go down and then over. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 over 5. Notice it is negative. The slope does go downhill from left to right. 5 over 5 is just 1. So my answer is -1, or you could have -1 over 1. I'm going to let you try 10, 11, 12, and 13 on your own. I won't quite show you the key here, but we can talk about it in class before we take the test. On 14, 15, 16, and 17, you're just asked to write the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. So the slope on 14 is 4/3, and the y-intercept is -9. 4/3 coming from the number in front of the x, the -9 coming from the b, the number in the back. Please pause the video here and then finish 15, 16, and 17, and then check your answer with me. There are the answers for 15, 16, and 17. Again, make sure when you're writing the slope that you're not including the x. Slope is just a number. The variable x should never be included when you're listing the slope. 18 and 19 just want you to go the other way. So now instead of pulling out the slope and the y-intercept, you are writing the equation. I've given you the standard form here, y equals mx plus b. So we know that m goes in front of the x and the b goes in the back. So for 18 we have y equals 9x minus 14. And for number 19 we have y equals -7/3 x plus 0. Remember, you don't have to write the plus 0 if you don't want to, but you can. Finally, graphing using slope and y-intercept. Remember, you have to have 5 points on the graph. So for number 20, my y-intercept is the number in the back. Remember, that's always where you start, so we're starting at -3. My slope is 2 over 1, and it's positive, so I'm going up 2 and over 1 in the positive direction. You only need to have 5 points, but I oftentimes like to go all the way through the graph. It's good practice. And then we connect our dots, and we have our line. I want you to pause the video and try 21 and then check with my answer. Hopefully your line looks like mine in number 21. Remember that it is negative slope, so we should be going the other direction from number 20. So that completes the key to the sample test. Please make sure that you have all of the problems solved. If you're not sure of how I got one of my answers, we can talk about it in class before we take the test, which will be tomorrow.